Now don't get me wrong. There's multiple ways for you to come up when you're incarcerated. You could go in there with literally nothing. And with the right connects, the right pool, and moving the right way, you could come up several times, plenty of times, and always have a way to make yourself go up that chain as far as coming from nothing and grinding your way to the top. For this video right here, I'm going to be telling y'all one of my very first come-ups that I made and how it happened while I was locked up in Florida prison. Let's do it. Haha, Dom the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch you with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2, cause violent first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted. What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. I want to tell everybody welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my first come-ups while I was in prison. Okay? Now, when you first land in prison, of course everybody's different. You might not be one of them people that got a good support system. You know, you might not have nobody out there that's, you know, a backbone when it comes to your finances. So you might land in prison and you ain't got nothing to start with, you know, no way to start making money, no nothing, right? I wasn't one of them people because I already had a name on the streets. People already knew who KFROG was, you feel me? And like I tell y'all, Kfrogtv didn't start in prison. I used to do that shit on Instagram at first, you feel me? I just kept it going while I was in prison. But back then, Instagram only allowed you to put, I believe, 15-second videos up. You know what I'm saying? So it really wasn't nothing, you feel me? But it was more hood and more ratchet and didn't give a fuck about the law, none of that back then to me than it is now. You feel me? So when I went to prison, of course I had ways to get money. Of course I already had a fat account as it was, you know, but my very first come up, you know, I had to get it in blood, you feel me? And I broke it down before, different situations I've been into and ways that I had to get money and what I went through. And I'm going to tell y'all about a come-up of mine that I actually feel like I got blessed. This wasn't my very first one, but this was one of my first ones, okay? And I feel like I got blessed, you know? To me, it was like that shit was meant for me to start hustling while I was in prison, okay? Because you got some people that when they go to prison, at the end of the day, everybody's time is going to feel different and be different because people do their time differently. You understand? You might like to go to rec. You might like to work in the kitchen. You might like to go to chow. There's going to be people in there that don't like to go to chow. People that don't like to work in the kitchen. People that don't want to go to rec. Or there's going to be people that rather do 2 out of 3 of those things. Or 1 out of 3 of those things. Or, you know, etc. Now, when I went to prison, you know, when it's your first time, you don't know what to think. You don't know what to expect. You know, you're going off of things you see in movies. You're going off of stories you hear from other people. So, me, I always heard stay away from the 4 G's. Okay? Gambling, gays, gangs, guards. Those were the things that I heard. So, you know, in my mind, I'm like, okay, let me peep from everything that I'm thinking I know about prison. Let me peep, stay out the way, you know, and see how it is here. Okay? Now, I was at an institution way up in the Panhandle at this time, and I just happened to be walking back. I had a medical call out, all right? For those that don't know what a medical call out is, that means that you were on the call log. They put your name on the call sheet. You had a certain time to be there. You had to go to medical, whether it was to get your blood pressure taken, whether it was for them to do a physical on you, whether it was just to do a checkup, whatever it may be. I was on my way back to the dorm from a medical call out, and while I was at medical, I remember sitting there and I was like, damn, dawg, this shit sucks. They were shaking down dorms while I was not in the dorm. I was at medical, you feel me? And the dorm they were shaking down wasn't even my dorm, you feel me? But since it was like, you know, in the middle of the shakedown procedure, they basically locked the pound down to where no movement, okay? And when you're stuck in a certain place and they call no movement, you're stuck sitting there. It don't matter if you was in the chow hall, it don't matter if you was in the school building, it don't matter if you was at chapel, whatever it is. When there's no movement, you are going to be stuck and have to remain where you were at. So I already didn't want to go to this call out. You know what I'm saying? I had to wake up bright and early, you feel me, just to go there, just for them to do some shit that I don't even feel like they need to do right now. So, you know, I went there, boom, I'm sitting there, I'm already hating it. Of course, I want to get in and get out. But, you know, there's hundreds of other inmates doing the same thing. It's like a rotating cycle. You know, you walk in, all the fucking seats are taken. And then you sit there, and it's like you got to wait till they call your name. It's like going to the DMV or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping to get in and get out. That's my whole goal. You know what I'm saying? If they say, oh, is there anything else you'd like? No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. You know, less questions, the quicker you can go. So I'm sitting in there. Next thing you know, boom, they call to where there's no movement. Lockdown, no movement. So I'm like, damn, dog, now I'm stuck here because they're shaking down a couple dorms. So I remember going up to the officer and I was like, damn, Sarge, you can't call someone to, like, you know, escort us to our dorm? Like, they shaking down the whole other side of the compound. Like, they're not even shaking down our side of the compound. Like, my dorm isn't even over there on that side of the pound where the dorms that are being shook down are at. Like, that's bullshit that we should have to stay here. I feel like if it's someone that's from that side of the pound, if you're in this dorm, and this dorm, remain in here. All the other dorms, go straight to your dorm. No, that's what I feel like they should do, you feel me? But no, he's like, no, you know, boom, you gotta sit here, you gotta wait. So I'm like, damn, dog. And literally, after sitting there for 2 hours, after already seeing the nurse, sat there for 2 hours, y'all, just sitting there, like, man, it's some bullshit, you feel me? You know, and then when you sit there and wait, when you're in the little waiting rooms and shit, you know, they don't want no talking. So you're dead ass just sitting there, dragging, like the time feels like it's dragging, you know, you can't do nothing about it, you feel me? So after the 2 hours finally go by, I hear them over the walkie-talkie, they yell that they're doing the shakedown and everything. Then I hear when they finally lift the pound to where now everybody can go back to their dorms and stuff. Well, in between where my dorms were and in between where the other dorms were, in the middle of the compound, you got the captain's office, the chow hall, chapel, school building, stuff like that. So as they finally let us go back to our dorm, when we're walking back to our dorm, you know, they got us all in a line. There's like 10 of us, you feel me, like that are in my dorm, you feel me, but not in the same quad as me. There's 4 quads, but, you know, in the same dorm. Y'all get what I'm saying. As we're standing in line and we're walking across the pound or whatever, I see on the other side of the fence, I see officers pushing laundry carts. You feel me? They're pushing laundry carts that are like filled to the top with like shit they took out of the dorms for shakedown. You know, like mattresses. I see a bunch of mattresses ripped open. You see all the nasty, dirty ass stained cotton sticking out of them. I seen pillows ripped open. I seen sheets. Seen a bunch of canteen bags, like a shoe, like different things where I know, okay, that's all the shit that they're taking considered as contraband. You feel me? So as we're walking, you know, I'm not thinking nothing of it, but as I'm paying attention to them, I look and I see something fall off one of them carts. You feel me? I seen that shit fall off. Like as they're pushing it, like just straight up, hit the ground, and they kept going. So in my mind, I'm like, damn. I'm like, boy, I wonder what it is they just dropped. You know, I can't really tell from here. I'm on the other side of the gate as we're going. But then I'm like, shit. And there ain't nothing I could do about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, there ain't no way in hell that I could, you know, go there without getting caught. Next thing you know, I'm walking. And as we go in our dorm, the guards that were, you know, that were transporting us to our dorms, they stopped to where they could see that dorm, and that dorm, and said, y'all go back to your dorms. As everyone starts going back to their dorms, I'm still looking over there like I could see this little thing on the floor. You feel me? I could see it over there, dog, like in the grass, but I can't tell what it is, but it's sticking up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, I could tell something fell. I don't know what it is. So next thing you know, as we're walking to our dorms, the officer himself walks up to 2 inmates that were going to a dorm 2 dorms over from my dorm. So picture one path that way of a sidewalk, one this way and one that way. So it's split like that. That's how it's split, like a crown. You feel me? He goes over there. So when he goes over there, I run around this building real quick and run up to it, hoping it's something, because it's like, damn, if I get caught with it, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, I'm going to confinement. Or if I get caught for no reason, I'm going to confinement. They don't know what the hell I'm running over there for. And at this time when I got to prison, there was no cameras, y'all. They put cameras in as I was in prison. They didn't have them when I first got there. You feel me? So as I run around the blind spot of the building, I run over there and I run up, boom, I grab it. I could tell it's cigarettes. You feel me? Off rip. I could just tell. Like, I see them. They're like wrapped in saran wrap and stuff like that. So I'm like, boom, okay, you know, this is a little something, you feel me? Like, not thinking nothing of it, but I'm like, okay, maybe I can get some money for this or something. So boom, as I'm going to walk back, the officer's like, you, come here. He's like, come here. He's like, what are you doing out of your dorm? I said, Sarge, I just got here a couple weeks ago, man, and I forgot what dorm I live in. Just like that. That's the only thing I can think of to tell him. And he was like, what do you mean you forgot what dorm you live in? I said, I get confused when we come from the different ways of the compound. Like if we come from this way, you know, I'm not sure from the first, second, or third, or if I come from this way, if it's first, second, or third, I'm kind of lost. You know, I don't really know which one it is. He's like, what's your name? I tell him my name. He looks it up, boom, 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 they tell me. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right, it's this one. You feel me? Boom, I go in there. Whole time, sweating. Whole time, I'm like, damn, dog, I got these cigarettes on me. I ain't even really hide them, dog. I really just, my boxers were like to my waist and my pants were like, you know, sagged down a little bit. So I had like, probably like this much of my boxers sticking up above my waistline of my pants. I literally just had them cuffed right here on my hip, like right there above my, and my pant line is what was blocking them from falling down. You feel me? So I'm like, damn, you know, like whole time I'm like, if this fucker searches me or anything like that, but they just did a shakedown, so he's not really thinking of that, you know? So he's like, okay, boom, 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 go back to your dorm, whatever, don't let me catch you again. You remember, it's this one, it's this one. I'm like, all right, I'll remember, I always remember. It's the one in the middle, no matter if I come from the left or if I come from the right. It's always the one in the middle out of the 3 dorms, like that. So then I go back to my dorm, boom, when I go in there, I go inside my cell, you know what I'm saying, boom, I go in there, my bunkie was out there on the phone, I pull the thing out, start looking through it, I'm like, okay, I know there were cigarettes, but when I bust it open, shit was like vacuum sealed, pressed, like real tight when they wrapped it like in black tape and stuff, you feel me? I could just see the brown of the cigarette, you know what I'm saying? Because down here in Florida, they don't give you like Newports, Marlboros, stuff like that. They do like the 305s or the Clippers, like the cheaper ones, the brown ones, you feel me? Because you're going to make more money, you know what I'm saying? If you pay more for the shit on the streets, that's less profit you make in prison. So of course you get the cheap shit, people are gonna still buy it, and then you make all the profit off of it, you feel me? So when I fuck around and I'm taking this black tape off around it, you know, I'm thinking like maybe there's, it was literally like only like this big, the bomb of them. Like, you know, it was like this long, but it was only like that big. So in my mind, I'm like, you know, it's probably like 15 of them. That's what it looked like. But once I started popping that black tape off, that bitch went to expanding. And believe it or not, that little bomb, just that round, you feel me? Just that round was 120 cigarettes. That was 6 packs. I came up on 6 packs of squares, like out of nowhere. You feel me? And I know a lot of people are going to be like, damn, dog, you hit. You feel me? In my mind, I'm like, yeah, I hit too. You know what I'm saying? Like when I found it, I'm like, okay. But now I'm like, man, what am I going to do with this shit? I didn't really know nobody on the compound like that. I knew a couple people in my dorm. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know everybody though. You know, I just knew a few people. You know, I was, yo, what's up with you? You feel me? That's it. You know, I stayed to myself at first, you know, and just tried to learn, you know, how to be a convict. You feel me? Because there's a difference between convicts and inmates. I tried to learn, you know, the ropes of prison. I want to learn the whereabouts. What's what, who's who, where's where, you know, stuff like that. So I can't just all of a sudden say, oh, I got these squares. And then in my mind, I'm like, damn, well, someone on the other side of the pound took a loss when that shit got knocked off. So I got to definitely be careful who I'm giving these shits to or who I'm selling it to. Because if they get word, oh, down there on the other side of the pound, such and such has been booming these cigarettes and shit, you know, then it's going to look like, oh, okay, you know, he obviously got one of our bombs. And I didn't know at the time that normally every prison that I went to, though, but I didn't know at the time that the brown ones is what, like, everybody would get in, you know, at the time. So me, when I seen it, I'm thinking like this is a person specific, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be the only one on the pound that's got the brown ones. Because look at it from on the streets perspective. Me, I only see people that smoke the brown cigarettes, people that really ain't got money, that don't want to spend that much on an expensive pack of like Newports or something. Or you see like, you know, the basers or the junkies and the people that chill outside the corner store and shit smoking the brown ones. You know? So it's like when someone sees a bundle of the brown ones in prison like I did, I'm thinking that them shits was like a special order. Or I'm thinking like a special plug has these ones. You know, they're going to notice the difference. If everybody's selling white ones and then there's the brown ones comes from this one dude on the other side of the pound, and now all of a sudden I got a bomb of them and I'm selling them over here on my side of the pound. You see? So I had to be very careful. And then that wasn't the only other thing. The other thing that I was also worried about is I can't let nobody play with me. And what I mean by that is I can't let nobody look at me like I'm, you know, a green bean, because I was new. I was a square to the system. I didn't really know what everything went for, how much everything costed, you know, the price of everything. So I got to make sure no one's trying to get over on me. You feel me? I got to make sure when I do the right deal, a whole cigarette, I got to make sure a motherfucker ain't telling me, oh yeah, they go for, you know, a soup. You know, but in my mind, shit, 120 of them, that's 120 soups. So that still seems like a good deal if you do, you know what I'm saying? But then to come to find out, it was, depending on where you are, it goes from $3 to $5 to $7 to $10 lacs. A lac, which is a Cadillac, which is a whole square. You feel me? A whole one. So I got to make sure the person who I'm conversating with is going to be truthful and honest with me and not try to make a couple bucks off of it, or not just try to lowball me from the get-go. Because that's what we ended up doing to people later on that would come from private camps. They'd come from different institutions and they'd have like the Irish Spring bars of soap or the VO5 shampoo, you know, different things like that, or the Colgate toothpaste. Those things, when they land on the compound from a private camp, they don't know how much them shits really go for over here. You know, them shits is like exclusive items. So something that may only cost them $1.50, $2.50 at their institution, you know, them shits go for like 10 bucks here because we don't get those here. You know, our commissary and canteen is a different company, so the shit you got is like exotic. You know, we might tell him, oh, $2 for that. And then he might not know. He's thinking, okay, well, you know, shit, I paid $2 for it. You know, so why not, you know? And bam, next thing you know, I can sell it for 10, make 8. You see, that's how it goes. So I had to make sure nobody was going to try to get over on me like that. So what I ended up doing is, I didn't even want to tell my bunkie at first. I knew my bunkie, but I didn't know my bunkie that well. You get what I'm saying? And he associated with a lot of people, so I was like, man, it's going to be kind of hard. Here, I got to have these shits in the room. You know, once you bust them open, you can smell the tobacco. You know, so then I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I got to have these shits in the room to where he don't know I got them. I don't want to sit on them because they just shook down that side of the compound. So the longer I sit on them and have them at my area, the more chances are, okay, now it's time for them to search the other side of the pound. You feel me? It's like, that's a sign, a signal. If they did that side, eventually they're going to come do this side. So I was like, time frame was like, I got to do something. I got to try to get rid of these shits. You know what I'm saying? And it dead ass put me in the hustle game. You feel me? Because I was like, man, who can I trust, you know? Next thing you know, I'm like, man, fuck it. I got to roll the dice. So there was a couple people in the dorm, like I said, that I knew. You feel me? A couple of them, I said, what's up with you? I went up to one of them. Went down there in his cell, and I said, what's up, bro? Check me out. He's like, what's good with you? Broward. That's what he said. What's good with you, Broward? Because, you know, that's where I'm from. I'm from Davie, which is in Broward County. So I'm like, shit, same old shit. I'm like, man, what's up? What the, what cigarettes going for, bro, on this pound? You feel me? I felt like I'd use his information so I know what to sell mine for. You feel me? He's like, oh, bro, what you mean, like the chubs or like a lac or whatever? I said, like whole cigarettes. Like, if I wanted to buy a whole cigarette, what they go for? He like, oh, most people charge them $5. You feel me? He's like, but if you cool with them, you know, if it's your dog or if you got to connect, you know what I'm saying? Like my dog, I can get him from bruh for $3. So I'm like, okay, 3 to 5. He's like, yeah. He's like, why, you want to buy some? So in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. You feel me? I'm just waiting for my money to hit. That's it. You feel me? I said, I'll let you know, though. Once I hit I'll let you know, though, if I want to get them or not. He's like, all right, bro, let me know. I walk off. So I use that little bit of information to know, okay, that's what they going for. So if someone come and try to lowball me, oh, yeah, $2, bro. They go for $2, bro. I'll buy 30 of them right now. See, then I'll know he's trying to, you know what I'm saying, get me. He's trying to get over on me. You feel me? Now, if I drop the price, you feel me? If I don't know you and then a $3 deal is a hookup to someone that you're cool with, and you buy 30 of them, and I want to, and then you say $2, I'm gonna say, nah, I'll do the $3 deal because I don't know you. But if it's one of my homeboys and you buy them bitches, like, you know what I'm saying, in bulk, then yeah, of course I'll drop the price. So what I did next is, in my room, right, I knew you were gonna smell tobacco a little bit. I knew my bunkie be like, oh, my bunkie probably got, you know, tobacco in here. You feel me? So what I did is I decided to take 5 of them. right? I took 5 of them and busted them open, took all the tobacco out of them, flushed the brown paper, and then I wrapped it in like a little baggie, like a cookie bag, like it looks like a sandwich bag basically. And I had a bomb of just straight tobacco. You feel me? There was no paper to it, so you couldn't really tell if it was a white or brown square. That's why I did that, because I didn't want my bunkie to know, oh, he's got brown square, you know, see? So I had to hide the paper route of it, you feel me? So my bunkie comes in there, I wait, you know, a little while and shit like that. I'm like, hey, what's up, bunkie? You want to smoke? And he's like, smoke what? I said, oh, I got some, my dog hooked me up with some tobacco, you feel me? He's like, oh, all right, yeah, because I don't smoke tunchi and shit like that. I said, nah, hell no, me neither, bro. I ain't none of that. You'll never have to worry about that in here, you feel me? I ain't on that shit. I'm glad I got a bunkie that don't smoke that. That's what I told him. Next thing you know, he's like, I might hit it once or twice, you know, talking about the tobacco. I said, all right, fuck it. So I started rolling it up and started chopping it up with him. He's like, oh, your dog gave you that? I'm like, yeah, he gave me like 3 or 4 lacs. That's what I said. But he's like, what was it like? Why is it loose tobacco? Because normally they come with the, I said, no, that's how he gave it to me, but I can't complain. He's like, yeah, you feel me? Fuck it is what it is. So next thing you know, I'm rolling it up, we talking, we chopping it up. So then I'm like, you don't know anybody that buys them? You feel me? My dog trying to get rid of some. So I figured, you know, I'd spread word. He was like, here, bro, I got, you know, cigarettes on deck. Take this little bomb for you, Frog, you feel me? And just spread word. Let people. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, dude and sell this, dude and sell that, dude and sell that. They spent all their money on that. I'm like, for real? He like, yeah. He's like, and they're older dudes. Like, these are the type of dudes that walk around every day and with a cup of coffee. Their coffee cups so, like, stained and dirty and shit because they ain't washed it, because they feel like they could scrape the spoon to get a little bit off there each time when they let it dry out, you know, like that. And he was like, yeah, you know, they don't do nothing but they just smoke tobacco, you feel me? He's like, and they buy them shits. I know they've been locked in with some people from across the pound. I said, oh, they buy it from someone across the pound? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh shit. I said, yeah, I'll mention it to them, see if they want to buy some from my dog. So, right? So check this out. So what I ended up doing is, my dog, though, I did have a homeboy of mine that was on the other side of the compound. He was in one of the dorms that got shook down, you feel me? So I went down there and talked to them boys, like the ones that were known to smoke cigarettes. I told them, what's up, y'all? I got some cigarettes for sale, da-da-da-da. My homeboy across the pound, you know, he didn't get caught with them, you feel me? So he just trying to see if, you know, when they did shakedown, he just trying to see if I could spread word if y'all boys want to buy some or something. And he was like, oh, yeah, what's he charging? I said, well, normally what you pay. And then the dude was like, oh, you know, normally I pay $4 a lac. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I do $40. I get, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. So he started breaking it down. I'm like, all right, well, shit, I'll go holler at him or whatever, and I'll see what deal he wants to do. I said, you know what I'm saying? Just give me a day or so. He's like, oh, all right. Next thing you know, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I ain't got no day or so, but I can't make it seem like I got them shits right upstairs in my cell. So I'm like, you feel me? They call chow and shit like that later on that day. Boom, I come back. I'm like, hey, y'all boys, I ran into my dog at chow. They put him in the kitchen now, you feel me? He works in the kitchen. I ran into him when I just went and ate chow. I was like, so, you know, at the end of the day, I'm like, man, y'all boys really want to buy some lax? My dog said he'll take $1 off each one. You know what I'm saying? So you can get, you know, more if you want. You could pay $3 a piece, you know, 30 for 10, or you could stick to the deal you're doing. He's like, okay, but what kind are they? I said, I think he said both. He can get the whites or the browns. And then this is when I found out that everybody had the brown ones, not just this one person who got them knocked off. He's like, the white ones? And I'm like, yeah, white or brown. He was like, I ain't seen a white one on this pound since we've been here. Everybody sells the brown ones. He's like, are the white ones menthols? I don't want no menthols. So then I was like, nah, I don't think they're menthols. I said, but at the same time, I think he had more brown ones left than he does the white ones, you feel me? I said, I should find out, though. And he was like, yeah. He's like, nah, I'll definitely buy the brown ones. He's like, I'll buy the white ones, though, top dollar, even more. You know, I'll pay $6 a piece for those as long as it ain't a menthol. See, so they wanted the white ones. So then that's when I found out everyone had the brown ones. So there ain't no way to identify the bomb I got to the bombs that got knocked off. You feel me? Unless that shit was like identical to all the ones. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to have the same type of tape, the same type of saran wrap, same shit. You know, so it's like you can't really pinpoint it. But I still wasn't going to let everybody know what I got. So I'm like, all right, boom. I said, I'll holler at him. Right? There was a dude in our dorm that had a phone. Right? So I went up there. And I got on the phone, you know, called my peoples and shit, chopping up my peoples on the streets, yada, yada, yada. And then as I'm on the phone with my peoples, I'm like, damn, I just thought of a brilliant ass idea. I said, after I get off the phone, I'm going to go talk to them boys downstairs and say I just talked to my dog in the other dorm from phone to phone. Like if I'm wheeling the deal and like I'm doing the deal from phones across the compound. But in all reality, I'm not. You know, I'm just trying to get these shits off me as quickly as possible. You feel me? So then boom. I go down there, I'm like, hey, I just talked to my dog on, what's his name's Jack, you feel me? I said, I just hollered at him over the thing, and he said, yeah, bro, he says, all the white ones are gone, though. He's only got brown ones. Someone bought all the white ones today. So, you feel me? However y'all boys want to buy, he'll do $3 a pop. So he's like, all right, let me talk to my buddies. These were like older dudes that been in there probably 10, 15 years, and they don't like change, you know what I'm saying? They don't like to switch their plug, switch their, you know what I'm saying? But since I'm in the dorm with them, it's more easier, you know what I'm saying? And instead of hoping you can get him from that dude on the other side of the compound, and he knows them boys took a mad loss, a massive shakedown, you feel me? He probably was running dry as it was, you know? Everybody knows when a dorm gets hit, you feel me? So I never told them the name of the dude down there or anything like that, you know? I just said, yeah, I got a friend down there, you feel me? So next thing you know, he's like, yeah, I'll holler at my buddies. He comes up to my cell later that night and he's like, hey man, you think you could get that tomorrow from your dog down there? And I'm like, oh, what y'all boys want? He's like, oh, I'll take, you know, I'll spend 50, he'll spend 50, he'll spend 50. So we got 150 if you want to go ahead and do them at $3 a pop. So I'm like, all right, say no more. You feel me? I'll make sure first thing in the morning, you know what I'm saying? First movement. As soon as they fucking pop doors, for us to go, you know, to school or whatever it is, I'll go down there, you know, and just make sure you get the money from your homeboys and stuff. I'll make sure I go down there and I'll grab them from him and bring them here. You feel me? And they'll be like, all right, let's do it. Okay, no more, man. Yeah, so tomorrow, man. Okay, I'll tell the fellas right now. I'm like, all right. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to try to get these bitches off. So I can't wait till first movement. Me instead, I'm gonna go at breakfast. Breakfast, it's still kind of dark out, you know what I'm saying? So what I did is, I went to breakfast when they popped the doors the first time, and it's like a hit or miss if you land with another dorm. So since they didn't know who my homeboy supposedly was, they didn't know who I was supposed to be meeting at Chow. You feel me? Like I can't say, oh, I seen him at Chow, and then them see, what do you mean? We went to dorm only with our dorms. You know, and then be suspicious of it. But they don't know who he is. So we landed there with another dorm, but it wasn't a dorm from someone I knew. So then when I came back real quick, you feel me? I just went there, got my tray, ate like the grits and shit real quick, chugged my little juice nectar, boom, dumped my tray, and left while them boys were still sitting there talking and eating. So they see me go in and out. It was really just a real nigga walkthrough. It wasn't really like I was there to really eat or nothing. I just did that just to make it look like I went to Chow. And then by the time them boys come back, I was already, from last night, I already done divided them shits. While my bunkie was down there sleeping, I already done divided them. Like, you know, boom, here's his bomb, here's his bomb, here's his bomb. You know, like that, I already divided them. And then I'm going to wrap them in one big bomb. And then I'm going to make it look like when them boys come back, hey, y'all boys, you got the bread? I went down there already. You see what I'm saying? And it was like a rolling the dice, hoping it would go through and hoping these dudes would never say anything. But since I was giving it to them for $1 cheaper, why would they? You see what I'm saying? So when he came in, I was like, yo, he came up there. I said, hey, boom. I said, I got him from him. He said, yeah. I said, yeah. He's like, all right, boom. He walks down, goes into 2 cells, comes back out with $50 bags of canteen from each cell. $150 worth of canteen. Comes up there. I said, yeah, put it in my locker. He pours it all in my locker. I'm like, all right, boom. He's like, why are you putting it in your locker? I'm like, well, those are their canteen bags, you feel me? I got to get another canteen bag from the what's it called, you feel me? And I said, and I'll just give my dog the PayPal, you feel me? In the time being, I'll just pay him a PayPal and I'll just keep the canteen because I was going to hit the window anyways. See, I had to like tell him a lie because it's like, why are you collecting the food? You feel me? You got to cover your tracks all the time when you got certain deals going down, you feel me? So I get a man of cigarettes, boom. Next thing you know, he goes downstairs, everything's fine and dandy. So I'm like, all right, boom. So now I'm like, I'm going to wait till later, you know. Like I said, I'm worried they're finna do a shakedown. So my bunkie comes in, and my bunkie's like, yeah, your homeboy that you said had cigarettes or whatever, has he got any more? So I'm like, oh, I don't know, why, what's up? He's like, oh, because I think dude downstairs in cell such and such, he told me a whole nother person. I think dude down there is looking for some cigarettes. So when I look over the top tier, who he's talking about, he's like a gang member that's like affiliated that always be on the other side of the compound. He always be over there like with them other dorms. So I'm like, damn, that's kind of risky, dog. He might just be trying to see who got what. You know what I'm saying? He might just see who's got shit down here, you know what I'm saying? You know, and then go tell them boys, you feel me? But I was like, you know what, fuck it, dog, it is what it is, bro. Now to fight a little bit. So I was like, man, I'm gonna try it. So I'm like, what's up, dog? I heard you looking for some tobacco. He was like, oh yeah, bro, why, you can get some? I said, yeah, matter of fact, my homeboy, you know, he just gave me 20 lakhs and was trying to see if I can get rid of them. So now I told him 20. And he was like, oh yeah, what do you want for him? I said, oh, he want 3 a pop, you feel me? He's like, 3 a pop? You ain't got no lakhs for 3 a pop. Because he knows that's like a hookup deal. But y'all gotta remember, I'm just trying to get rid of them. I'm trying to get rid of these bitches, at least make a decent amount. I'm not trying to get rid of them like lowballing the hell out of myself, but I gotta at least get rid of them enough to where I'm like, I just wanna, you know, 150, boy, I'm already happy with. But if you do the math of what you can really make off these lakhs, you feel what I'm saying? Like if you break it down, 20 cigarettes per pack, you feel me? You could break each one into 5 $2 chubs. That's 10 a lakh. You see what I'm saying? You can make 10 a lakh if you break it down. You feel me? So you do the math. You break that shit, you know what I'm saying? Out of 6 packs. I can, if I really want to break that bitch down. But like I said, this was one of my first come-ups. So I was kind of nervous. You know, I'm learning shit at the same time. You can't let people know what you got because they're going to try to rob. They're going to try to tell. You know, stuff like that. But I had to do what I needed to do in order to get this shit off. You feel me? I was going against time because I was worried about shakedown. I was going against people on the other side of the pound finding out because they shit just got knocked off. I was going against gang members and people finding out I have it because I didn't gang bang and I didn't want to get myself in the wrong situation. And I was going against people trying to lowball me and everything. I had to like, you know, I was trying to just get it, you know, but 150 is already a come up. So I said, yeah, bro. He said, yeah, $3 a pop. He's like, oh, you got them right now? I said, shit, if you got the canteen. He's like, yeah, I got the canteen. I'm like, all right, shit, let me get it. He's like, come on. We go in the cell. He gives me the money, $3 a pop for 20 of them. Boop, 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 boop. I go up there. I'm like, all right, boy, I'll be right back. Boom, I give it to him. He come back a little later. Hey, you ain't got no more? I'm like, nah. He's like, what you mean? I said, nah. I said, he only gave me those, you know, to get rid of. I ain't the one that's got them. He's like, damn, for real, bro? I wanted to get like 20 more from you. I'm like, nah, bro, that's all I got. But really, I had more, you feel me? I don't remember really how much I had, but I was like, nah, you feel me? Because the way he doubled back, I was like, nah, he's fishing. He's trying to see if I got him, if I'm the seller for real. You feel me? So I just fell back. I was like, nah, bro, it ain't nothing. And then what I ended up doing is my bunkie I showed the rest of my bunkie. And then when I showed the rest of my bunkie started buying them off me. $2 chubs, $2 chubs. You feel me? He started paying full price. So next thing you know, I'm getting 10 a cigarette. Boom, 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 boom. And I was like booming just in my cell. He'd hit the canteen window, come back, give me a shitload of canteen, and I'd give him the lakhs. He thought I was getting them from somewhere else, and really they was in the room the whole time. And them bitches ran through like that. You feel me? To me, that's a come up that I will never forget. You know what I'm saying? I will never forget that because it just happened. It landed in my lap out of nowhere. Like, what are the odds that I'm just walking back from medical and see some shit fall off the cart, right? And then when I look, it's that. And I'm just happy I got away with it all, like doing what I needed to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't in me to go bring that shit over there on the other side of town and say, hey, y'all boys, who got your shit knocked off? Because anybody is gonna tell you them. They're gonna say, oh, I did, it was mine. Anybody will tell you that. If someone in my dorm would have known that I got these shits because they fell off the cart, that got a shakedown from another dorm. Someone in my dorm would have been like they were theirs and they sent them over there. Their hold down man or something was holding them. Anybody's got like gimme, got their hand out like they're gonna say it was theirs. So I did what I needed to do. And through it all, it was good because I made a couple $100. You see what I'm saying? I made a couple $100 just off of me finding some shit laying on the floor like that. You see what I'm saying? And it just shows, even if you got money, like of course I had money in my account, of course I had money in my locker, I had canteen, I had money on the wire, had whatever I would need, whatever I needed to get my hands on, I had, of course. You see what I'm saying? But the whole reason that this was such a good come up to me is I made a couple $100 in jailhouse food, a couple $100 in canteen. You feel me? So I ain't got to hit canteen for a while. So now, after I was known a little bit in the dorm, known a little bit on the compound, now the same money that was in my account that I was going to use for canteen, I don't have to use for a while because I got a hustle going on with these cigarettes I found. So that money that was actually sitting, piling up that I was going to use for canteen, I invested and bought a jack. Boom. You see? That's how I was able to get a jack at one time. All because I fell back from using the money that I had and just lived off of the hustle money from this come up. So I felt like sharing this story with y'all. If y'all are ever anybody that ever been locked up and actually found something and came across something that wasn't yours, but you know that shit had money value. You know that shit had value to it and you did what you needed to do. Or if you're just someone that started at nothing and made it to something while you were locked up, please drop it in the comment section, because people who watch these videos, they like to see not just what I say, not just my opinion and not just my experience and things that I went through while I was locked up, but they also like to see what you have to say about your experiences. They like to see who else has actually found something that was worth money and flipped it real quick and did what they needed to do. I had a lot of odds against me when I was doing this flip after finding this shit, but I managed to do it. You see what I'm saying? Managed to do it without anybody even know I found them shits, without anybody even knowing that I was the one that really had them, all that. I was able to play up under everybody the entire time enough to get in, get my bread, and get out. Feel me? But then by the time all that was over with, I was already known as someone that can get them from someone. They just didn't know my plug. And in all reality, I was the plug at the moment. So I had to figure out, okay, I want this shit to keep going. I don't want it to stop. So before I run out, now I got to figure out a route and figure out a plug. So that way I can keep going. Now I like the hustle. Now I can keep going and keep going up the ladder, little by little. You feel me? But I got a little bit to fall back on right now, you feel me, to make my money. But I got to, before this shit runs out, I got to, have something in the works, you feel me, to where I can continue it if I want to. You know what I'm saying? And then when that shit came about to where when I ran out, I already found a plug and a route. And guess what? I didn't even continue. I didn't even continue to hustle. I just wanted to find the plug and the route. And the next thing you know, I fell back for a little bit so nobody would actually put two and two together that it was me the whole time. So they seen a time where I didn't have cigarettes. Then they seen a time where I was getting them and saying they were from someone else when really I had them. And then there was a time where I couldn't get them. No, I didn't have none or anything. You feel me? And then bam, when I came back, finally used the plug and the route and started booming, they never put two and two in together to look at it like, damn, he had someone else's shit from over there. He was the plug the whole time. See what I'm saying? I had to do it, wisely. I had to, do what I got to do to, sidetrack them for a little bit. And I was able to milk them cow as much as I could. You feel me? And that's what I did, y'all. This was one of my first come-ups, and I'm glad I got to share it with y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I always say, y'all make sure you keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, clout chasers, lying-ass motherfuckers on YouTube, people who were fucking got whiskers for life. Keep them out your circle, man. You know what I'm saying? You are your team, bro. At the end of the day, man, whether you got money or whether you don't, when you die, you can't take it with you regardless. And you feel me? And there ain't no damn bunk beds in the casket. I tell y'all that shit all the time. Y'all already know, man. Till next time, this the one and only. I am my team, Frog.